So today I want to show you the EPLAN Epulse. You'll see a lot of things about the Epulse. You can freely sign in here, join the Epulse, and you will discover a little bit more about this. But really I want to talk about it from an EPLAN perspective. In EPLAN, typically, before the Epulse was available, before version 2.9 was out, what we would typically do is we would take this project, finish off the project, and send it out via smart PDF. Cool feature because once you actually send out the PDF, you could even later import back in the PDF comments, which all of them would show up here and there wherever this comes to. But in these days, now that we actually have a little bit more of an understanding of what this is, I'm going to look into another factor that is probably something that we weren't aware that much in the past. You can see here, this factor here, when you send out a PDF, a little bit like a virus, right? Nowadays, I think we understand a little bit better what this is. Once you give out the file to two people and they send it out to two more people, and you continue like this, within a week or two, you end up having X number of files out there, which all could be from a different revision. And when we talk about revision, it can become very complex. Here you can see, I just typed in Google revision management workflow, and I can't even figure out what all these different revisions are. You know, you write it, you have a request, it comes back, another one sends it out. All these are individual copies at one point in time. It could actually float out there. Which one is real, which one is not real? So EPULSE is actually the right solution for this. Inside EPLAN, the interesting thing is you get a new menu called here EPLAN Epulse. It's for free, right, for EPLAN users. And what you can do here is you can view the project, you can upload a project, and anyone you wish to share this project with, you can actually take the project and you can see here down here who the people are I'm sharing it with. If I want to add to this list, I can just pick another user out of the list and just add to the list, and he's going to be able to actually use this or view this project. Of course, all the benefits are there, and you'll find tons of videos about how you can edit this. But what I'm interested in is really what happens on the EPLAN side. Well, imagine I sent it out a few days ago, and I have a few colleagues actually that worked on it. I have here a couple of redlinings that are actually under the draft mode. Some of them are actually already reviewed. So somebody actually, if I look in the history, Troy actually wrote it and somebody else actually approved it, the change. So here are also some approved changes I can click on. Here are even some changes that were done, so I don't even have to worry about them. I can take any of these different status of changes, and I can look at them, explain what you want. So basically this is just the text that shows up. It consists of a couple of graphical lines, circles, rectangles, even some text. If I'm not too sure what this is, I can always refer back down to whoever did it down there, and I can even go as far as rejecting it if I want to, because I can change the status. I can actually put it in review mode and request more information. And the nice thing about this is, as I'm doing this, on the other side, it actually falls here under the review mode, I can also ask anyone to actually review this and check it out, right? And they will see exactly the same thing. The other thing that is interesting is, of course, any change that has been reviewed and you have to put in some of these comments, whatever, you can actually turn it into the status that it's done once you have done the whole thing. So of course you will approve it. So here I have to check the form. So this is an interesting form actually that is referred to here, because what we're asking for is any change that has been made. I want to add this revision note. So technically what this says is, let's take one of these pages, page 3, let's say. We have this page 3 here, and in page 3 there's of course nothing to change, but let's say we want to duplicate one of these objects. Control C, Control V, just place it here. Obviously by placing it, it's going to renumber. By renumbering, oops, it's in draft mode. And as soon as it's in draft mode, I have to tell him what happened, and I just added a new element. And this description here is what we're referring to. So these descriptions, of course, will appear down in the bottom of your plot frame if you have these text in there. And as a revision, because it's now part of the revision, if you look here, we added this new element on that page number 3. This should actually show up in that revision table that we can see here on this side. Okay, that's number 1 because it's a new revision. And we can also see it most likely in this page here on the page 3. If we just update the report, I just included here the very last revision, which is 01 when it was done. And you can see that it actually got some sort of a revision, whereas the other ones didn't. This is just in the table of content that we included this. So technically, if I go back to my comment here, it is not only approved, but it is actually resolved and done. So I can actually put it under done. Yes, it works. Tested on page 3. There we go. And it's done. So the revision management is made a lot easier. It's centralized. It's on one cloud. It's really a cool feature, I have to say. So it's free for you to use. It's free for you to just go to the EPLAN Epulse, right? You just register, so you sign in. If you haven't signed in or you haven't joined, you can join in. This is the Eview that we're talking about. And anyone that you want to have join the meeting or join the company to look into it, once you have signed in to your organization because you created an organization, you can from here create within the user management some special invitations to who you want to invite. As you can see, this is my community here of people that I work with. If I want to add a new email, I just go about here and add a new email to this list, and he's going to be part of the pull down list that you saw earlier inside EPLAN, and from that point on you can then share the project. Of course, if you do any kind of changes in EPLAN, as I just did here, what you have to do at one point in time is you have to take this project. As usual, you will update the whole project reports. You may have to do some wire numbering. In my case, I haven't really added any specific wire numbers or anything like that, so it's not a big deal. But typically, we would also run the wire numbering, and this would update, and of course, anything that can be updated, like the model views, which represent the panel itself. Then you have all the reports like the terminal diagrams, the wire list, the bill of material, any kind of report cable list that can help you and the people on the manufacturing side will be updated with this one single click menu. And once this is done and when it's finished, you can see here a little bit further, if you look at my cursor, you can see the upload to cloud button, which will enable us to take this project and upload it directly into the cloud. It may take a few seconds or a few minutes, but always remember what I said earlier. If you take your project and you send it out to multiple people like this, you will duplicate these files and you will lose control over who has the latest project. If you do use this upload here and you have one centralized, of course here I will just put which revision this is, so probably it's 3.1 revision, R3.1, upload ready for manufacturing, let's say. And I can just click the add button and it's going to upload. So really great tool. Take advantage of it. Lose the multiplying factor of the PDF.